Well, it's the end of a very greasy weekend here at Brands Hatch, and I'm stood with Matt Summerfield, who is now 4 times British truck racing champion in a row. The first obvious question, Matt, is how are you feeling?
Absolutely amazing. It's been such a tall order this year to maintain a pace, and we're here with a self-prepared truck and a self-made team against all works engineered trucks, and obviously Stuart Oliver, he's been a 10 times champion with a wealth of experience, and it's been a hard fight all year, and at times it hasn't been a fair fight, but we've just kept our head down and we just kept taking it on the chin a bit. And sometimes it's all right dishing a punch out, but you've got to be able to take one, haven't you? And we've took a few this year, but we've come out on top, mate. And the team and myself, well, I still can't believe it, really.
Well, you're a smiler. You're a constant smiler. I always see you happy, and although you say, you've had times during the season where things haven't gone right, things have been a bit unfair, you're not really a grumbler or a moaner. You just get on with it. And talking with the guys from Man Trucks, Keith and Rob, they're just impressed with your demeanour and the way you carry it off. And they've signed for another 2 years, haven't they? So you must be pleased about that. Yeah,
I'm overwhelmed with that. I mean, and we'll use that energy over the winter to, we're building a new truck this winter, and this one's just going to be like a show truck and for demonstrations and that kind of a thing. You know what I mean? It's not for sale. We're keeping it, and he's going forward. He's just the assistance off the sponsors and that is just unfound, really.
And what about the little wee cardboard cutout? Is that for sale?
It's not for sale, but we can replicate it if somebody put an order in. It's a cracking bit of kit, and it's gone down a storm this weekend. The kids have loved it. Well, the parents have loved it. Everyone's loved it, and it was just something that me and my missus dreamt up last Saturday night in the pub. I was having a pint, just chilling out after some preparation work,
And talking to Richard from Motors TV, he's hoping to use that in the kind of outtakes at the end sequence.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like what you see on Cannonball Run or something like that. Yeah, we're just going to do a bit of a giggle with that. But it was so funny the other day when we did a bit of an interview in it, and it's been an amazing year. And like you say, although things do strike you at times, is an hour later I've got over it, me. You know what I mean? And we just move on, and the next day is another day altogether. That's just another.
So, to what extent has the weekend here at Brands Hatch summed up your season? How has the ups and downs of yesterday and today been like your 2015 season?
This weekend we expected. Not expected to win, but we expected to have the problems, to have the banter, to have the troubles and the spills and all the problems, and people working against us and that, and we expected all that. So we were best dressed for that. We were prepared for that, mentally and physically, and with the preparation on the truck and also the spare parts and everything to go on with it. So the things that have happened this weekend aren't not uncommon, and races being totally cancelled, and especially when the dark's drawing in at Brands Hatch here, that's something that's just not a shock to me either. But
well, tell us about that final race where we had a red flag out, and you must have been thinking, I've got to start this again. Yeah. And there's 2 points in it between yourself and Stuart. And how long was it between the red flag coming and you knowing that the race was over and you were champion? And what were your feelings between the red flag and knowing that you were champion?
Is there the problem we had there? We went round the turn, and Stuart was hooked on my tail. Steve Thomas had already had big contact with me and took out my driver's side rear tyre, so that was going to compromise the race. Full stop. That was. We was going to be slow, and we were going to lose positions. Yeah. Stuart was straight on my tail and pushing and shoving in there, and this was all in the first half a lap that all this happened. Then when the reds came out, I knew full well that I knew I had a puncher, I knew I had a punctured tyre. I knew I'd have had to pit to change that tyre. And I knew that we'd have had to go on the back of the grid again, or from the pit lane start, putting us right at the back and putting Stuart up near the front. And at this moment, I was just, I can't believe this, you know.
So for a short while, the championship had just dissolved from you.
It had just dissolved, and it was over. And I said to the guys, look, I'm going to come in, let's change this wheel, and all we can hope for is that Stuart blows up or crashes. Yeah? And they says, no, Matt, no, the race has been cancelled. I says, whatever, get ready to change the tyre. There's like, no, Matt, no, the race has been cancelled. I says, I'm not interested. I'm coming in, change my tyre, because he's in a drop of an hat, they'll pull that truck out of the gravel, and then somebody will say, no, we're having the race, and then we're not best dressed. Change the tyre, I'm coming in. Matt, they're putting them all back in the paddock. And I drove round, and I was seeing everyone going, all the trucks all going into the thing, and I was just like, wow. Oh, my God.
And you couldn't believe it, could you?
Couldn't believe it.
Couldn't believe it.
I was in tears, mate, in the cab. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, I drove down the pit lane, and and the marshals are waving us on because they want to get the Legends race started, or whatever was racing, and he's I just couldn't believe it, mate. I was in tears.
Well, we had no idea that's how it transpired.
Your heart ripped out to, you know, being given another lease of life. It was unreal.
And in a sense, that's a fantastic experience to go through.
Yeah,
If you could actually choose the way to go in retrospect, you'd say, yeah, give that to me, because you can't, as Richard Nixon once said, you can't appreciate being on the highest mountain unless you've been in the deepest valley. And was that what it was like for you?
That was the lowest point ever. After all the feat of effort gone in this season for us to get here, to, you know, with work commitments and team and organisation, we all go to work every day. We're all back at work tomorrow morning. You know, all those guys are at work tomorrow morning, and the level of commitment of everybody, and you know, no one's on pay, and it's and the effort gone in, and then, like you say, we was in the deepest valley. We had been crushed, and then in the next, you know, it was a revelation, and we won.
Well, Matt Summerfield, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015 British Truck Champion. Congratulations. Thank you for talking to us.
Thanks very much, mate. Thanks for your time.